Hi everyone, I'm Casey. Welcome back to our channel. Here, I share outfit ideas, styling tips, and pieces that have worked for me, especially as someone petite who values comfort, ease, and feeling good in what I wear. Whether you're refining your style, building a more wearable wardrobe, or just looking for ideas that actually fit real life, you might find something here that clicks. After talking about how I style my white sneakers in the last video, I couldn't help but reflect on all the outfits I've tried over the years whenever I travel outside the country. What worked for me, what didn't, and what I've come to feel most comfortable in. As someone who's 5 feet 0 inches, traveling with a check-in luggage, walking through long terminals, and sometimes rushing between gates, it really matters that what I wear allows me to move with ease. But I also don't want to look too underdressed or sloppy. Comfort and being presentable have always been my go-to, and through a lot of trial and error, I've figured out a few combinations I always return to, plus a few things I've learned to avoid. So here's what has worked for me so far, and maybe you'll find a few ideas worth trying on your next trip too. Effortless trousers plus tee plus sneakers plus jacket. This one's simple, but I've become more intentional about the trousers I wear. I always go for ankle length now, nothing that drags, nothing that pulls around my shoes. I've learned that when you're moving around with luggage, escalators, and unfamiliar restrooms, the last thing you want is fabric getting in the way or touching the floor. The tee is usually basic, something breathable, and I always bring a jacket or a light coat. Even if it's hot outside, planes and airports can get freezing. And having a layer that also makes the outfit look more pulled together helps a lot. Layered, soft denim combo. This is something I've worn a lot, especially during colder months, but I've made a small tweak. I always wear a tank top or a thin tee underneath my sweatshirt. That way, if I suddenly feel warm, say I'm rushing through the terminal or the cabin temperature gets hot, I can take the sweatshirt off and still feel comfortable. Soft, stretchy denim is key here. I don't wear stiff or heavy jeans while flying anymore. Anything that digs into my waist or limits movement is just not worth it. Lounge sets or jogger combos. I've worn this combination. Joggers paired with a hoodie or a long sleeve top, at least 2 or 3 times, especially on long-haul flights. What I've come to appreciate about it is that when done right, it feels like the perfect balance between being relaxed and still looking put together. It's easy to assume that joggers automatically mean lazy day wear, but if you choose a matching set or pair pieces in complementary tones, it can actually come across quite clean and intentional. Layering plays a big role in making this outfit work. I always wear a tank top or a lightweight tee underneath. That way, I'm not stuck if the temperature shifts, whether it's walking through a warm terminal or settling into a cold cabin mid-flight. It gives me the flexibility to remove a layer and still feel comfortable without needing a full outfit change. And while comfort is the priority, I also pay attention to the cut of the joggers. I prefer the ones that are more tailored, slightly tapered at the ankle, not overly slouchy or too thick. The kind that still gives you room to move but doesn't feel like you're wearing sleepwear outside. It's a small detail, but it makes all the difference. I think there's a way to feel cozy without looking unkempt, like you planned for comfort but didn't give up on style completely. This outfit has become a quiet go-to for me because it travels well, feels good, and doesn't need much adjusting once you're on the move. Dark-colored clothes over light ones. This is a big one for me. After flying enough times, I've had my fair share of small accidents. Spilled drinks, meals that slide off the tray during turbulence, or even just brushing up against walls, seats, or my own luggage wheels. These things happen more often than we think, especially when you're navigating tight spaces and juggling so many things at once. That's why I've learned to stick to darker or neutral-colored clothing when I travel. Shades like black, navy, olive, or charcoal help hide stains and smudges much better than light colors do. It might seem like a small thing, but there's something about not having to worry about a visible coffee splash on your white top or accidentally sitting on something dusty that just makes the entire experience a little less stressful. Darker tones feel more low maintenance. I don't have to worry about where I sit or lean, and it lets me focus on the trip instead of my outfit. I still love lighter shades like creams and pastels, but I save those for later in the trip once I've settled in and the travel chaos is over. Slip-ons, sneakers, and compression socks. When it comes to footwear, I stick to sneakers that are easy to slip on and off. Even my lace-up pairs are pre-adjusted so I can slide them in and out without retying. They're comfortable, supportive, and practical, especially at airports where you need to remove your shoes during security checks. I also keep a clean pair of socks in my bag to freshen up after long flights. And for longer trips, compression socks have been a game changer. They help with circulation and keep my legs from feeling heavy when I land. Tiny things that make a big difference. Aside from the extra pair of socks, there are a few things I always keep in my personal bag. Small items that have saved me more times than I can count, and now feel non-negotiable when I travel. A cap. It might seem simple, but a cap comes in handy more often than people think. On days when I don't have time to fix my hair, or when I just want to tuck it away during a long flight, it makes me feel a little more presentable. It's also great for napping. Whether I'm sitting by the window or trying to block out light in the terminal, pulling the brim down gives me a little sense of privacy. Sunglasses. I always keep a pair on hand, especially if I'm arriving somewhere sunny. After a long flight, I don't always feel like being in full light, and sunglasses help me feel more refreshed and put together, even if I'm just trying to get through customs or grab a cab. They're also helpful if I want to nap discreetly or rest my eyes in bright terminals. A sarong or large shawl. This might be one of my favorite travel items. It's incredibly versatile. I've used it as a scarf, blanket, seat cover, or even a wrap for added warmth on long flights. It's especially useful if I'm wearing lighter clothing or want a bit of coverage during layovers. It adds comfort in quiet, reliable ways, what I don't wear on flights anymore. There are a few pieces I've stopped packing, not because they don't look good, but because they just don't feel right when I'm in transit. After trying them once or twice, I realized some outfits aren't worth the hassle or discomfort. Avoiding them has made travel days much easier. Shorts, including biker shorts. I've worn shorts, both biker style and regular, once or twice while flying, and I quickly realized they're not for me. While they seemed like a breathable option for warm weather travel, I felt uncomfortable having my skin in direct contact with the seat for hours. Even with a shawl, I found myself constantly adjusting and wrapping it around my legs just to feel more at ease. It wasn't just about modesty, it was about comfort and peace of mind. I've found I prefer more coverage, especially on longer flights, where small discomforts can add up. Jumpsuits. I love how jumpsuits look, sleek and effortless, but they're not practical for flights. Having to remove the whole top half just to use a cramped airplane bathroom is more stress than it's worth. Now, I save them for days when I won't be in transit or when better restrooms are guaranteed. Wide leg pants. As much as I enjoy wearing wide leg pants, they're not ideal for flying. The fabric often drags on airport floors, and using the restroom turns into a balancing act just to keep them clean. I've learned that tapered or cropped styles make travel much easier and less frustrating. Avoiding these pieces has made travel days feel lighter and more manageable. For me, the best travel outfits aren't just about how they look, but how well they let me move, rest, and adapt throughout the day. If something gets in the way of that, no matter how stylish, it's probably better left in the suitcase. After all these trial and error moments, I've realized that the best airport outfit is one that lets you move freely. Adjust your layers depending on the temperature, and stay comfortable from check-in to landing. It's not about looking overly styled or following every trend. It's about being practical without feeling frumpy, and presentable without sacrificing ease. These combinations may seem simple, but they've made a big difference in how I travel. Fewer things to overthink, more ease throughout the day, and a little more peace of mind. If you found outfit formulas that work for you too, I'd really love to hear about them. We all figure these things out in our own time, and sharing what works might just help someone else feel a bit more comfortable the next time they fly. Thanks for spending a bit of your time here with me, and I'll see you in the next one.